Welcome back. Mike Blewitt here at the DFS Players Conference at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. I'm here with my co-host, Tony Cincotta, and we welcome to the show Corey Parson, my man, one of my partners in crime as I'm broadcasting and Tony's broadcasting across the airwaves. Corey, how you doing?
Doing good. Mike, how's everything going? Glad to
man.
be here today. Look, Times Square, Midtown Manhattan, for the DFS Players Conference. Who would have thought?
I know, a couple of years ago. I mean, Tony and I have been doing this show for a long time. We've been doing podcasts and radio shows for coming up on 10 years now. DFS was not even a glimmer in our eye when we first started that. We were just talking lineups and waiver wire pickups and all that good stuff back then. So, what's one key thing that you're looking to maybe learn today or learn this weekend from the DFS Players Conference? What's one element that you're really excited about?
Just want to learn, to be a better player, pick some of the minds of some of the top players in the country, and a lot of guys have gathered here today. So listen to here's what they have to say about how they put their lineups and teams together and eventually end up in the money.
Corey, it's funny. You've been around SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio a long time.
Yes.
I was there since day one, and we relived the experience today. Matt Deutsch, our program director, came down and says, hey, Tony's first day on air, I ran out of my office and said, listen, what are you talking about daily fantasy sports? It's gambling. We don't talk about gambling on this channel. And Matt goes, I went and I did a little research, and I figured, daily fantasy sports might catch on. It's legal. What?
It caught on.
Yeah, it caught on. Can you imagine, though, where we were when it first started to where we are now?
I think after that first year, we went through that football season, and that next when it got to this time of year where we were just basketball, I was putting invitations to Draft Street out on weeknights just to have some fun with some of the listeners playing DFS hoops, and now you got people going to the Playboy Mansion to play for $1 million. In 4 years. It's crazy.
Right. So we're here with Corey Parson, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. I mean, to your point, you're talking NBA a little bit. How did your relationship started playing a little bit of NBA, or did it start with the NFL?
I think everybody started with baseball.
Got it. So you started with baseball, and then it just grew, and now you play
golf, NASCAR, you name it. I haven't tried the esports yet, though.
No.
I haven't tried the esports, but my son is doing a little bit of it, so maybe I'll get some of that going soon. But no, I'm doing everything.
Got it. Great.
It's interesting as we talk to Corey Parson from, of course, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, also Scout.com. The guy, Google him. The fantasy executive on Scout.com. They have great videos that will get you ready for the week's action. Now, it's interesting because you think about it, right? All of a sudden, you're a producer at SiriusXM, you're doing a radio show, then all of a sudden you're going to do videos every week for daily fantasy plays, and that's where we've come in the information business. What are the changes that you've seen, and how do you think it's going to progress in the world that now everybody's looking at videos for daily fantasy?
The information just keeps getting better. I mean, when we first started, we were talking about, this guy's injured, he's going to get more minutes and stuff like that. Now we're looking at, points per snap. We've taken the hobby and used our skill level and just all the way down to almost like we're coaches now. And I think you run a DFS team, put a couple lineups together, and become a guy that knows what he's doing in this stuff. You really could probably run a professional organization.
I mean, we had a guy on here earlier today, to your point, Derek Carty, who's he dives in a lot on MLB. He's been on Baseball Tonight, and he got started in building his own projection system, which he wasn't gearing it towards DFS. And now it's gotten to a point where his skill level is so high that he's able to use it really on a professional level. He could work for any team, but he's been able to gear it towards DFS. So to your point, he could be involved with the professional organization just as easily as the people that already work there.
We've even seen some of the baseball guys, some of the fantasy baseball analysts, some of the top guys that go out to the Arizona Fall League and all of that stuff. Some of them actually work for Major League Baseball teams. So this is not just some passing fad. Obviously, we're well past that, or some, we're doing this by luck. This is actually a skill that people are putting together to study these sports, learn these contests. So to say that it's a game of chance is really foolish.
You know what's funny about that is that I know two guys that are very successful in daily fantasy that got offered jobs to play on major league teams to participate and help out the front office. They turned it down because there wasn't enough money for them. But that's where we've come in the world of daily fantasy. And, Corey, when you look at how you pick your lineups each and every week and you're playing daily fantasy football, one of the things that I look at is the Las Vegas total. Yep. And I think now there's a big implication as far as gambling, whether it's gamer skill, and relying on certain statistics to try to formulate your opinion. Do you think that's hurting the industry as a whole, or it's just one of those things out there?
I think it's just one of those things out there, and everybody does it. And, I do it myself. But really, if you sit up here and you tell me Baltimore is hosting Jacksonville this week, the three of us sitting here, been around this game, know the sport enough that we could probably guess the line ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can probably guess the line ourselves. So to say that, that's something that you're using and tied into Vegas, I don't think that's false, because we can sit here, the two of us ourselves, we think about it, the stats are out there. You know the Jacksonville Jaguars are bad against the run. Justin Forsett's a great play. You know that the Baltimore Ravens terrible in the secondary. You see what Blake Bortles and Allen Hurns and that crew has been doing so far this season. So we can take those statistics that are right there for everybody to look at and kind of guess the lines ourselves. So to say that ties it into gambling, I think that's foolish also.
Going back to your sort of personal relationship, again, we're here with Corey Parson. He's with Scout.com, and you can hear him on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Is there a favorite sport that you have? I know you like the NBA, and certainly MLB we have tons of opportunities to play, but are you more partial to NBA, NFL?
I do a little bit better with the NFL, with the football stuff, sure. But I tell you what, the golf is really getting my attention right now. I'm enjoying playing that a lot right now, to the fact where, skipping my executive nap and coming home and turning on the Golf Network and watching the second day, I'm like, what am I doing?
It's funny. I just heard from the crowd out there that we want more Corey on SiriusXM. And they don't hear enough of Corey. No. Yeah. Did you bring these people?
No. That's a little fan. They follow me around. Yeah, a little bit.
Good. Corey, you talk about golf, and in my life, right? Golf was something I played back when Tiger was a couple years into his tournament on CDM. It's a once-a-week thing, and it was fun. I would watch the tournaments, and then I was done. And now fantasy sports brought it back to me. I've participated now in daily fantasy NASCAR, which I never would have done. Mm-hmm. Daily fantasy basketball, I've been on this channel since 2010. Mm-hmm. We couldn't talk about fantasy basketball at all. Every single day it's discussed on Daily Fantasy. I think Daily Fantasy has brought every one of these sports and given life to sports people had forgotten about.
Yeah, that's why you think the leagues and the associations, they want to get involved with this, because it makes the entertainment value of their sport even better. I couldn't tell you who one golfer was not named Tiger Woods. Now I know enough to fill out a lineup each and every Thursday.
Yeah, we have 8 major professional sports organizations in the New York metro area. Mm-hmm. All 8 have corporate partnerships with daily fantasy sites. So clearly it's grown to a point. And to your point about basketball, we were about 2-3 years into doing the show on Sirius, and you said, I've been on this channel for 4 years. I haven't taken one hockey call. And now, because of DFS, we actually have regular guests talking hockey. We have more people involved in playing DFS, more people watching the NHL as a result of this industry.
I had a streak going last year when the NBA went on when the All-Star break.
6 days,
right?
Yeah,
6 days.
Yeah.
And I cashed all 6 days in DFS hockey.
It's crazy.
The executive on ice.
I played it too, and I loved playing hockey, but I spend so much time doing it. Like I was telling people earlier tonight, I did a 17-minute podcast last week on basketball, and I nailed it. And a lot of people want a lot of money, but it took me 2.5 hours to do the research for a 17-minute podcast. And that's why I get so pissed off at people that don't know anything about this industry, that think it's not a game of skill. Well, here's the thing. I can give you a phone. I'll buy you an account at DraftKings and FanDuel, and you can pick the sport, and you're not going to beat me 8 out of 10 times. And it's so insane to me, the whole game of skill argument.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It takes a lot. You can't just sit up here and click on, the names and the numbers next to the player. You have to know what you're doing in order to compete and be successful in this. And if you don't want to compete and be successful, you just want to do it for fun, still, why having it taken away from you is not fair.
Yeah, I agree. And, to your point, we can all go to certain sites and find some statistics, right? But it's up to us to build a system that works. Yep. It's up to us to know the depth charts, up to us to read the information from beat writers, from injury reports, and see how that all plays into a potentially winning lineup. So you can argue about whether or not how much skill it may take. I'm telling you, there is a level of skill that it takes. It's a level of knowledge that not everybody has, and it's important for us to communicate that to everybody. And again, I would tell people to go to fantasysportsforall.com and sign up to.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fantasy
That's
Sports
the website right there. Get involved, whatever it takes to do your local leaders. Let's make fantasy, fantasy fun for everyone.